In this video, we're going to do a demo for using Desmos inference tools to construct a confidence interval for a population mean where we are using the t distribution and we have raw data. So we don't have sample statistics. We're given some list of data and it's a t confidence interval for a mean. So I'm going to go over here to Desmos and I'm going to access the inference tools either from using the add item menu and select inference, or alternatively, you can type the word inference on a line and that will bring up the same tools menu for the inference functions. Here we are doing a t confidence interval for a mean. That's quantitative data. So that's going to be under the t-test selection. Remember that whether we're doing a hypothesis test or a confidence interval, we use the same tool in Desmos. So I'm going to select t-test because it's the t distribution for a confidence interval for a mean. And now I'm prompted to enter my list of data. Now, if I had to, I could just type the data values in here, separate them by a comma, for example. I'm not going to do that, but because that's a little bit tedious, but you can if you're unable to copy and paste, which can sometimes be the case if you're on an iPad or something like that. Instead, I'm going to copy and paste my data. And so as long as it's in a vertical table like this in Desmos, it's very easy to copy and paste. I'm just going to select my data and then I can either right click and copy, or I can use my keyboard shortcut Control C. I'm on a PC, so that's my keyboard shortcut. You can look up a shortcut if you're on a Mac. And then I'm going to go over here, and where I want to paste the data, the right click doesn't give me a paste option over here, but I'm just going to use my keyboard and Control V. Notice that it puts the data in the form of a list. So Desmos list format has the data separated by commas and in the brackets. Just as an aside, another way that you can get that data into the test interface is to put a separate line in and store the data in a list there. So here I've given the data list, the variable name D. I can do that. And then in my t-test tool, I can just use that variable D. So either of those works. It's really up to you. If you're just copying and pasting anyways, you might as well just directly copy and paste into the list of data. So that's what I've done. Now I'm going to click Create Test. And it's going to, as usual, give me my t-test here. Notice that the only input for the t-test from raw data is the raw data. There's nothing else for me to enter because Desmos will compute everything. It will compute the sample mean, the sample standard deviation, and the sample size, all from my list of data. So I'm going to drop down the confidence interval section. And always make sure that you check your confidence level. We always have a default of 0.95 in Desmos, but I want a 98% confidence interval. So I need to change that to 0.98. And then I can see my lower and upper bound given here. If you hover over the center, that tells me the point estimate, which is the sample mean. And we didn't know that here until Desmos computed it. So if you need the point estimate, you can see it by hovering on that center point, or you can open this 3-dot menu and that gives you all of the relevant values to the confidence interval to more decimal places. So I have the lower bound, the upper bound, the point estimate, that again is the X bar, and the standard error of my sampling distribution. If I need to, I can drop any of those down into a separate line. But here I just need my lower and upper bound rounded to 2 decimal places. And so I see that my lower bound is given to 2 decimal places. For my upper bound, it's only showing me 1 decimal place here. So I'm just going to drop this down and see that to 2 decimal places, my upper bound is 100.29. So that's what I'll enter for my upper bound. And then I'm also asked for the parameter that goes in the center of my between notation. And so since this is a confidence interval for a population mean, the parameter I'm estimating is the population mean mu. So I'm going to select that for the center of my confidence interval, and that gives me my completed confidence interval.